Hello, welcome in, welcome in. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Hi there, Miss Yvonne and Miss Yadi. Thank you so much for having me today. I really do appreciate it a lot. So I am in Miss Yadi's event group. It is Yadi's Workshop and Friends, and today is all about fake baking. So I am pulling out like old stuff because some of you may not know this, but I did fake baking back sent the fix to its den. Hey there, Miss Amy. I loved your pie, girl. Let me just say, I absolutely loved your pie. Your pies were gorgeous. You know, you would never have thought that you did not know or barely do any of this stuff. So, it may not be your thing, but you did amazing. I just wanted you to know that. Okay? I did want you to know that. Alright, and I'm just sending myself out to Telegram just in case, even though I had already said I was going to be on today, but still. Okay. And put myself down here so I can see comments. Hello, Miss Tina. Ugh, there's a mosquito. Okay, so let me turn you guys down so you guys can see what my fake bake is going to be. Definitely going to be a lot different than what a lot of you guys have been doing. Hi there, Miss Mary. I have to incorporate paper, guys, somewhere, okay? You sent the fox to the den. Yup. Exactly. Thank you, Miss Yvonne. I will definitely do that. She is enjoying dinner right now. Because I just finished up dinner, so she's actually, her and Matthew are eating dinner right now. But I will definitely tell her that because I was picking her up and I had you on, and she heard your voice and she's like, "Is that Miss Yadi? Let her know that I said hi." And I'm like, okay. So, all right, I am going to use, this is from the Dollar Tree from who knows when, okay? I've had this in my stash, and if you guys know, I've been saying that I'm trying to use more of my stash lately. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to be using stuff that I already had. So we're going to be using this. I'm going to save my string for later, but that can go in the trash. And I'm just going to flip it over. Okay, because I will end up doing this in the autumn, and then that way people can, you know, swap it. So on this side, I am going to cover it in this orange paper that I had. So for this, we're just going to grab my glue mixture. Yay, you went to go get your glasses? I'm glad to hear that. I knew you said you were needing to get new glasses, so I'm glad to hear that, Miss Yvonne. Okay, so we're just going to use a little bit of glue mixture, which is just equal part water and Elmer school glue. And I just keep it in a little container. And if you have Mod Podge, you use that. If you like to use some kind of other stuff that, you know, some other kind of medium, you can use that as well. But this works just great, so that's what I'm going to use. And it's funny because many years ago, and when I first actually started my page, so I'm talking about 8 or so years ago, Um, I did fake bakes. I did a lot of fake bakes. Because they were one of the things that I would sell at craft show, at the craft fairs. But then they became like super popular and everybody was doing them. So then I just decided to go on and do my own thing and do what I had been doing since I was growing up, which was paper crafting and focusing on mixed media. And now everybody's into the paper crafting. I'm fine with it. So I was excited to do this. Hey there, Miss Lori. Hello there, Miss Shelly. How are you doing? Thank you so much, guys, for popping in. I really do appreciate it. It's been a fun event today. It's been a fun event. I actually have, I still have some of the mugs that I've made. They come, I have some that are over in my coffee bar area. And I did those with the spackle, the lightweight spackle, and the sprinkles and all the stuff. And I remember seeing Crystal, or Cristal, back when she was starting her page. And she likes to do the really big fake bakes. I don't decorate like that, so it's not my thing. Not my thing. You know, there's a craft for everybody. You don't have to just do one thing. So I am going to iron this just because I don't want to have any wrinkles. And then we're going to write the word boo. So I have a donut that's made out of plaster. And these are easy to make. If you have a mold, you can buy the bag of plaster of Paris and you just mix it and all the good stuff. No, I'm gonna have to do it this way. There's a little tear in the paper and I want to avoid the tear in the paper. So yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful process, you know, and it's fun to have the things make is the biggest time of the year that I still pull out some of my fake bakes is mainly in the fall and Christmas season, because that's where like gingerbread and cookies and hot cocos, that kind of stuff, that's normally when that comes out. Because yeah, like I said, not my thing to decorate with that kind of stuff. But I will do, like, you know, around those other holidays, I will do that. Okay, do I not have a larger sheet? I guess I do not. Okay, so we're just gonna make it happen. But it is a lot of fun to do, and you know, you could make things with your clay, and once it's dry you can attach it to the covers of your journals, you know. So there's a lot of things that can be done with clay. So I got into working more with the polymer clay, but to make figurines and stuff, but sadly my hands did not like me for that. So now if I work with something, I work with your air dry clay or with like the foam clay. And I was pulling out some of my tools from, I have a box that's named clay, so I have my clay and tools and stuff there. And I want to show you also, I know that, I think it was Miss Lori mentioned you can get some tools at the Dollar Tree, but also, hi there Miss Grace, I loved your little cupcakes. But also if you go to Hobby Lobby and they have their baking stuff on sale, I haven't even pulled these ones out yet because I haven't used them, but they have modeling tools. These are like silicone tips, and then they have the fondant tool set, which actually has more tools than what they sell for clay, and it's $5.99, and this tends to go on sale more than the clay stuff does. So that is just a little thing. And then the other thing, which is what I will be working with today, this is from the Dollar General. It's their make shop, and it's called air dry clay, but it's actually the foam clay. Yeah, exactly, they're almost the same thing. And I love to get this, and so whenever my store has it in stock, I pick it up because it is just amazing to work with. And this is mostly what I work with nowadays. It's small enough batches, you know, because I don't really use it that often. Alright, I'm going to sand this off right quick, only because I want to get started with the rest. Hey, Miss Stephanie. Hi, my dear friend. How are you doing? I hardly catch you anymore. I know you literally are the midnight crafter because you come on at, you know, always at nighttime. I hope you are doing well. So nice to see so many faces. It's been a while since I've been on a Sunday. But, you know, I'm very grateful that Miss Yadi allows me to be in her events and to be the last one so that I can spend the day with the family. Even though here lately my days are spent all around a little kitten. So and she thinks the screen of my phone is very funny because I had you guys on earlier, and she climbed up in my arms and kept on staring at the screen like, what is this? It was so funny. Yes, 9:30 Central, that's 10:30 Eastern time. my gosh, doing amazing. Right now, she's doing great with litter box training. So that's one win. But she is not wanting to let go of the bottle. And so we're going to try again to wean her this week. Because I start my second teaching job on the 24th. And that means I'm going to be gone. Definitely all day Monday. And now from talking with the director, if I don't want to have a large class, because there's a lot of students that want to take my elementary Spanish, if I don't want to have a really big group, I'm going to have to teach a second day. So that we can break up how many students I have. Oh no, you're fine. I'd bet I would rather you be late and safe than, you know, you get on here and something happen, my dear. How are you doing, Miss Carla? So what goody yumminess did you make for work today? Sundays is the day that Miss Carla always bakes something for her co-workers and talk about me being jelly, because I hear all the yummy stuff she makes and then I'm so far away I can't get none. But I always like to know what she makes. Okay. And I haven't brought my black paint back into my room yet. Okay. But the idea is we're going to have the B. We're going to have this O. And then we're going to make the second O a donut. Just a simple no-bake Oreo cheesecake. Oh, you made one of those before. You made one of those before. Those look good. I'm still dreaming with that delicious gumbo and with your Costa Rican dish, gallo pinto. It's called gallo pinto. I know Miss Carla makes some yummy gumbo. So see how soft this is? This is they call this air dry clay, but this is your foam clay. And I get this at the Dollar General. And they have all kinds of colors there. And for me, that I don't make a lot, this is more than enough for the things that I do. See, my oldest son was telling me, because he took me out for my birthday, took me out to eat for my birthday, and he was telling me that he was telling me and his sister that he's gone through almost 2 bottles of the salsa lisano. And we were like, why? And he was like, because I've been making a lot of pinto. And I'm like, oh. I was like, okay. You guys are eating something else other than just pinto, right? He was like, yeah, but it's so good. I was like, okay. So I got some black because I figured I'd be using some black today. I can send you a link, because you can get it. Alright, so actually before I start playing with the black and get my fingers all dirty, let me do this first. Let me do what I'm going to do over here. Alright, so first things first, I need some black. Because my big black is still in my box in the kitchen. It'll be fine. Try to do this not over my pumpkin, just in case if it decides to splatter. But yeah, that was, I can't wait to decide what we're gonna do. Well, I already know, I actually already know. I've been talking and chatting with Miss Carla and stuff, and I loved your guys' idea of doing a little golden book, so we're gonna be doing that next year. So I can't wait to start planning and deciding, figuring out the meals and all the game plan for next year. It's gonna be so much fun. Okay. So we're in Yadi's Workshop and Friend event today. If you've missed any of today's presenters, please go back and watch and be inspired. You know, and even if you're not a fake baker yourself, there's still a lot of tips and tricks that you can learn from these wonderful ladies who were on today. And you never know. I mean, like I said, they're fun to decorate with, especially like if you do a tier tray and things like that. You don't have to make like the really big fake bakes either. You can make small ones, kind of like the pies that Miss Amy was doing, or the little cupcakes that Miss Grace did. There's a lot of creativity there. Definitely go back and watch. It is so cool, everybody's little creations. Very inspiring, and give it a whirl. You never know, you might actually find a new hobby. Like we need new crafts to work with, right? Like we need something else to add to our stash. Hi, Miss Yvonne. Alright, so I'm not gonna glue this down just yet, but I do want to wipe my hands because I don't want to get paint on my white clay. That would not be good. That would definitely not be good. So the idea is we're gonna use the white clay and we're gonna make little bones to go on our bee, and then they're gonna look really good, Miss Yvonne. And I missed it. Are you planning on putting them like on a tier tray or something like that? Okay. So, keep wipes handy when you are working, especially if you're working with like a white clay, okay? So, you're going to want to condition, which just means to stretch it out and air it a little bit. And like I said, this clay is just so cool. I love it. Now, obviously, if you are going to make a lot, then you might want to get a bigger bag, but I don't make that much stuff with clay anymore. So, alright, I'm going to, might be too much right there. And then my bag of tools. Okay, I don't use this stuff that often, so I'm gonna use this right here. You're making a sandwich. Yummy. When I get done, I get to go eat the spaghetti with meatballs and what's it called? And garlic bread. I get to go have some of that. So, yum, yum, yum. You have a small cutting board. Oh, nice. That'll be a good way to display them. Definitely. Hey, I made a peanut butter and jelly the other night. Those are good too. Maybe not the best of bones, but hey, it's a bone. Now to do the ones that curve. My biggest problem is I normally always take more than I need. And then I end up with way too much. Okay. Ooh. That sounds yummy. I've made peanut butter and peanut butter sandwich with peanut butter sandwiches with Nutella is a favorite. Peanut butter sandwiches with guava jam is another favorite. With honey, with bananas, and Nutella with bananas and honey. You know, there's There's usually a few different ways to eat a peanut butter sandwich. Yeah, actually I have. I think we had it once. We went to some restaurant, had it. That's pretty good. Hopefully those are looking like bones. That's all I'm gonna say. Is that hopefully those are looking like bones. Okay. So again, I'm just using the back end of my tool here, but you could use a brush tip or anything that you may have that would help you to make your little indents. Now obviously I am gonna let these dry before I glue them. Okay, now for the one here, this one I'm gonna end up painting, and for this last one I'm gonna do the base in black and then the top like white to kind of mimic like a sheet to almost look like a ghost. And got some strong black color to this one. So again, we're going to stretch it, condition it. You know, this the conditioning of a foam clay is so much better and easier than that of any other clay, really. So again, if you have not followed Yadi's Workshop and Friends, do so. It's a free event group. Mostly weekends is when Miss Yadi hosts events. And today was all about fake baking. Hey, Miss Brandy! The bones look great. Thank you, Miss Amy. I was hoping they did. How are you doing, Miss Brandy? I hope that you are well today. Now, I do have I do have some different, like, what's it called? Glitters. And then I wanted to tell you guys, you can get the polymer clay little chip type glitters. You can get them at your Michaels. They normally have them, especially the different fun shaped ones for the different holiday seasons. And they're the clay ones that we think of. But you know, they call them chunky glitter. So if you guys are looking for that, that's an option. And then always check like your chunky glitter section as well, and you'd be able to find some really cool shaped glitter or sequins that you can use as well. So let me see how well will this drape. Maybe a little too well. I want it to be short enough that you can see the black donut underneath. And obviously, the moment that wet clay hits wet clay, it's gonna stick. So that was my bad. In my head, I was gonna measure it, but can't do that. Thank you, Miss Yadi. I appreciate that. Plus, I have carrot cake that my daughter picked up when she was at work today. So we're gonna have cake. It's gonna be the second cake that I have, seeing as the very first birthday cake I had was when I was out at the retreat with you lovely ladies. Okay, so we're going to make this right here. Oh no, you're fine. How is Jimmy? Jimmy's still trying to help you in the craft room. So look at that one. It's kind of like yeah, he's kind of like screaming, which is kind of what I was hoping it would look like, you know. So that is our second O. And then this one right here, we're going to paint. Now, my question is, should I put some sprinkles on this, like, little cake? Too spoiled. I know. So, should I put some of these little candy corn sprinkles on this or not? I also brought out, because I was planning on adding it on there, but I also have a chunky glitter that is just like oranges as well. And like I said, these ones are ones that you can, I just put them in this container, but they come in bottles, and you can find them at in the glitter section in Michael's. So, which should we put glitter on our little I guess we want to call it a scream pie? And if so, which one should we do? And in the meantime, I am going to start painting this. That is brown. That's not going to work. I mean, that's tan, and I want brown. It looks, yeah, that's kind of what I was like going for. That's kind of what I was going for, like the little, it's a scream pie. It's a scream cookie. So I don't know if I should add sprinkles to it or not, because I am going to put sprinkles on this. So it may not be necessary. I don't know. And then again, this is, you know, the same silicone molds that we use for our clay. You can use them to put plaster Paris in, and let me tell you, a bag will last you like forever. And you can, you know, get it with like the 40% off coupon when Michael's has it. You pick up a bag and it'll last you a good while. Or you can find it on the Big A too. And obviously I'm not going to worry about the back side because it's going to be glued down. No sprinkles on this one. We'll put sprinkles on this one. Okay. This one's going to get all the sprinkle love. I think it's going to look so fun. Thank you again, Miss Yadi, for having me. I'm glad that I was able to join. Like I said, I haven't done anything like fake bake in a while, so this is definitely fun to do. It's fun every once in a while to do something different. The cool thing about plaster Paris too is that because it becomes rigid, you know, especially like if you're making cookies and things like that, it can be a little easier to work with. The only thing is, of course, you know, if I were to drop this, it would break. So that would be the only downside. My pleasure. Like I said, my fake bake mind went like totally to another, a whole nother, you know, thing than what most of y'all ladies were doing. So I hope it was still something fun that y'all can learn from. You know what? Sometimes you can find shapes like these. Also, the Dollar Tree will have them. I'm sure your Hobby Lobby and stuff for the kids to paint. So they'll come with like little paint kits and stuff. And you can find, you know, everything from like animals to like the different foods. So, you know, when you see those little kits, don't be like, oh, that's for a child to paint. No, you can use that. Totally get that, and, you know, turn it into a craft. All right. Yeah, my husband's, you know, kind of like everybody else, so used to seeing me, sticking to my paper crafting lately. that earlier I was in um, the train room, which is my sewing room, and it's also my old craft room. And I was moving stuff around and digging for stuff, and he's like, you looking for something? I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for my clay stuff. And he was like, huh? So, that was funny. To me, that was funny. Oh, thank you. Obviously, you could go lighter with it, but seeing as it is, you know, Halloween, I mean, it's okay. If I was doing like a normal donut, I would probably go a little bit lighter on the brown. But it's fine with this. It's totally okay. Now, because the sprinkles are going to be orange, what color do you think the frosting should be? Should we throw in a pop of color like some purple, or should we do black? What do you guys think? So think about it. It's going to be right here, and we're going to add some of the orange sprinkles on top. So which color of icing should we add? Thank you, Miss Carla. Thank you, Miss Tina, Miss Yadi. Y'all are so sweet. So what color do you think we should paint this icing splash up here? Should we do a purple, a green? I don't want to do orange because we're going to put orange sprinkles and I don't want them to get lost. Oh, Miss Lori, thank you. The black, okay. That's what I was thinking, but I just wanted to see what everybody else would think as well, you know. Because well, you know, it's not so much that you have to know a whole lot with fake baking. It's just thinking outside the box as to, oh, this is, you know, like you're gonna bake a cake, kind of like the pies that Miss Amy was doing earlier, you know, and she was doing the lattice work. So like if you've ever baked before, all of that knowledge, you can turn it around. You're just doing it with a different medium. So like if you worked with fondant, now you're working with clay. Or if you've worked before with making a cake, you'll probably be using like styrofoam as your base and then covering it with either clay or spackle, like your icing. You can color up your spackle. Lightweight spackle is what you want to use for that. If you're doing drizzles, you can use caulk, the stuff that you use to, it's funny because if you think about it, if you're fake baking, you're going to spend a lot of time in the hardware store. I think back when I was fake baking, that was my craft store. I was buying a lot of stuff there. Yep, just like fondant. That's all you're doing is you're replacing the medium. And yes, there's obviously some things to know with but a lot of it is easy to learn. And obviously if it's air dry clay, don't leave it open. It's gonna dry on you, so you're gonna want to put it back when you're not working with it. Simple stuff like that. But for the most part, yeah. You know, if you think about how they do on these big cooking and baking shows, when they have to do big cakes and they use Rice Krispie treats as the base because it's lightweight and you can use a lot of it. Well, we use styrofoam, okay, or boxes, and then you just cover it and make it look pretty. Yeah, no, I don't know who was spending more time at the hardware store, me or my husband. So yeah, I mean it's easy. It's not hard at all. And like I said, I like to use this clay from the Dollar General because they call it air dry clay, but in reality it works more like the foam clay that you see fake bakers use. It doesn't crackle as much as air dry clay does. And yes, I agree with Miss Yadi. The Crayola can give you more issues. This one, not as much. So I really do like it. That's why when my store has it, I get it. And then you can paint it. Once it's dry, you can paint it. So if you put stuff in a mold, you pop it out. Once it's dry, you can paint it up to be whatever color you need it to be. So I normally mostly grab the white because I can paint on white. Biggest difference is you can't, you know, do that on a live, so having the multiple colors is great. But you know, if we already have the paints, so I just use paint. I've tried putting a dot of paint in the clay to color it. Many times it changes the consistency and then it won't dry well. So don't do that. don't do my mistake. Just be patient, let it dry, and then you can paint it. If you really need something to be one, you know, a separate color. You were buying spackle at Home Depot and you didn't use it. Yep. But it has to be the lightweight spackle. It cannot be the regular one because it will not dry. And when it does dry, it'll have more of a tendency to crack on you. The other thing with the spackle, which is really good, is you put a drop or two of paint in it and you change the color. So then you've got, you know, piping bags of different colored icing that you can use. So you can actually make your icing, you know, and not have to use clay as icing. Yeah, the lightweight. The lightweight is the better way to go with that. Hello there. How are you doing? Miss Jenna is one of my new friends. We met over at AIC. We were in an event together, and then I popped into her craft club today. She was doing a little so people could try it, and I had a blast. It was a lot of fun. And look, we were talking about y'all doing fake bakes and how I'm more of a paper crafter, and today I'm in a fake bake event. That is just too funny. I did fake bakes about 8 years ago or so. That was like a lot of what I did for craft shows. Not anymore. Not anymore. Again, thank you so much for having me, Miss Yadi. The group that I am in is Yadi's Workshop and Friends. So if you're not following her and her group, please do so. Please give her a follow. And she's got a beautiful event group. It's mostly on the weekends. I did enjoy it. It was a lot of fun. Oh, it was so much fun that I forgot I had to go get my daughter. Luckily, she was talking with a coworker, so it wasn't that bad. I'm so happy she has started making friends at work, people she chats with. So that makes me happy. I don't expect this to be perfect. You could use paint pens. Paint pens work as well. Especially if maybe you don't have a steady hand. Like right now, I am not having a steady hand. Thank you. I'm just going to finish my finish this up and go ahead and put my sprinkles on. So the way I'm going to attach my sprinkles is going to be with a layer of, you can do it with a layer of glue, but I'm actually going to do it with a layer of shifting color paint. It is, especially for her. She's been such an introvert for so long. It was really hard. She was very, very scared about going to work and stuff, so I'm very happy that she's slowly coming out of her little shell. So it's really nice when she's like, Mom, I was talking with my friend. And I was like, oh. Or she was like, I made a new friend and I was talking with her. I was like, oh, okay. The first day she went to work, there was a young girl who said that if anybody messed with her, to let her know and she would fight them for her. And I think that right there, like, helped my daughter off the bat to feel welcome. And you know, that was really nice. So, Kristen! Hello, hello, my friend. How are you? So I am doing something a little bit different than what you all are used to seeing me do. I am doing a fake bake today. That was the theme of this event. And so I have used clay to make the bones to make my scream pie. You know, like we have whoopie pies, well, that's a scream pie. And then this donut is made out of plaster. Aw, thank you. Alright, So there's that. We're gonna dry it so we can add the sprinkles to it, and that will be it. It'll be a wrap. I do want to dry this though. I don't know if she thinks it was a good Sunday though. She had to go to work for a meeting. Alright, so now my question is, do I want to use glue or do I want to use a color shifting paint? Yeah, nobody likes to have to go into work for on a Sunday. But you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So I have this paint. Let me show you guys. This one is out of plaster. This one is out of plaster. This and this is made out of air dry clay, and I get my air dry clay. I need to put this away. Oh no, it's already dried. I get my air dry clay from Dollar General because it works like the foam clay that everybody likes to use for fake bake. But it's small enough that I can, you know, because I don't use it that often, so I don't want to like buy a big bag and waste it. So that works for me. Shove that back in there. But yeah, that one was made out of plaster. The rest were made out of clay. So I don't know if you guys can see. You guys see how that is kind of like a purpley color? Kind of want to do that. I think that'll make it look fun. So let's do that. What did I do with my thing of paint? Oh well, I don't know where I put it now. Now I feel like I'm going crazy. Okay, so and I do need a sheet of paper because I want to make sure that I'm not going to get my sprinkles everywhere. Okay, so we're gonna move these guys because they just need to dry, and we're gonna work on this over here. Okay, so this is the chunky glitter that I have, and then we have these pieces here. This is clay. These are clay little mini candy corn. Okay, so this is my you can, like I said, you can do this with glue, but you will have to work a little bit fast because while it's still wet is when you need to get everything on. And this is going to make the whole thing have this iridescent purple look to it. Okay. So iridescent purpley look. I think you guys can kind of already see it a little bit. And then we'll put a few of the candy corn pieces on as well. And try to be a little strategic about where they fall if possible. And then you can always end up sealing this if you need to with a layer of sealant, Mod Podge, whatever you like to use. You can always do that as well. I need at least one more over that way. So, what do you guys think of it? Think it looks good? And then this will all, once it's fully dry, it's all going to end up getting added to this little sign over here. Put the rest of this away. And this is just Enchantment Shimmer Violet. It is a color shifting paint. So it's already starting to dry and you can kind of see a little bit of purple iridescent to it. Okay. Yeah, I got so much stuff in my head, it ain't funny. As y'all have learned, there's a lot of stuff in my head. But yes, so if you guys are looking for different types of chunky shaped glitters, I know because this is normally where I get mine. I get mine in, I know I love them, but I find these in Michael's, and at the different seasons they'll have these little clay piece type glitters. They'll have those in, so like in the Halloween section they'll have candy corn and little mini bats, and things of that nature. Or you can ask me for some, because as you can tell I have a lot and I don't use this kind of stuff all that much. So, but yeah, so this is what we did. We just need everything to dry. So we did the bones that went on our little wooden bee. Okay. And then we did our screen pie. And we did our cute little donut, which will go smack in the middle. And of course I had to have paper somewhere, so we did some paper on this wooden piece, and it's gonna say boo, and it'll be a nice hanger. Once everything dries and I get everything glued, I'll definitely show you guys how it came out. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you again to Miss Yadi for having me. I know I went over, but I wanted to finish putting the end touches to that donut so that it is done. Because, you know, if we don't get stuff done, sometimes it won't get done, right? So thank you so much for being here. I really truly appreciate every single one of you. I hope that you have a blessed week, and that, you know, everything that you need to accomplish you're able to do, that you have health, that your loved ones are well. Know how much I love you guys, and I truly truly appreciate you, and I hope to see you guys soon. Okay, so you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and until I see you again,